We're live.
Yes. Jackson, the people wanted it. I think they were concerned that it wasn't going to happen this week.
Well, a little later.
Usually we do it earlier in the week. And today it's Thursday, September 12th, 2024. My name is Tim McKernan. That's Jackson Burkett. This is the Tim McKernan Show. It's a podcast called Questions from the Audience. And Jackson, questions can be sent in TMcKernan at InsideSTL.com anytime you have anything on your mind. I just found my cute
boy. My cute boy. Head to Twitter and hit the old refresh button. I'm looking forward to seeing this.
TMcKernan at InsideSTL.com. That is...
What the fuck, dude? The little earring just does it all. That's doing a lot of work.
Team McKernan inside STL, like anything is welcome. I mean, anything and everything is welcome. Jackson, what's going on with you? I ask, feigning, carrying the answer while I buy time.
Oh, so genuine.
I hope that came off.
So genuine.
Sincerely.
Oh, life's good, you know.
You're a man in love.
Man in love.
You beat Chairman Kurt with a goal line stand in your football.
Beat me.
Oh, is that right?
He beat me. God damn it! Now you just brought.
I'm surprised that didn't come up on the show, or did I just totally blank when you guys started talking about it?
No, we didn't talk about it. Yeah, he beat me. I was down 6 points, and it was first and goal on the 5-yard line. I couldn't put it in. 4 tries, couldn't stuff it in. He got 2 first downs.
Boy.
Game was over.
Were there like people watching this?
No, God no. I hope not. He sometimes streams on Twitch.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I don't believe for this game he did, and yeah, I just I couldn't get in there. Couldn't do, and it's on me. You know, it was at home too, which makes it all the more. It cost Ed Orgeron his job in 2020. So
yeah, losing in Missouri.
Dean Ellis is sweating right now.
Dean Ellis. Let's see what I got here. I open up the QFTA file. Let's see what I got. I don't even know what this is. I'm just gonna. Oh, okay. Hey, Tim, I haven't listened yet today. This was sent yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know when the next time you guys are doing QFTA, but I figure it might be today or tomorrow due to the debate. I was curious. I like that people thought we would schedule it around this is like an organized operation.
I was planning on going live with you right after the
debate. After the debate, immediate takes.
Yes.
Grifters were doing that.
Oh, this is a great time to be a grifter right now.
It really is a great time to be a grifter.
I don't know if there's been a better time in human history.
Wow.
This is peak grift season. Both the technology and what's going on. It's chicken and egg, but yeah, I think this is as good.
It is. Is this peak grift season in human history? Yeah, it's a nice take. It's a take in the middle of the question. But I figure it might be today or tomorrow due to the debate. I was curious what you and Jackson's thoughts are on Project 2025. Do you think it's real? As in, do you think it's something Trump is associated with and wants to follow? To me, it's a pretty worrisome prospect, all told. When I bring it up to Republican friends and family, they obviously dismiss it as fake news, but even other left-leaning people I talk to seem to want to discount it and think, quote, well, that can never really happen here. Just trying to get a gauge of what the average person thinks about it. Thanks. That's from D, a gentleman wanting to go by the name of D. My honest answer is I don't know much about it. That's my honesty. I'm aware of it. I honestly don't know much about it.
Yeah,
and so if this would have been a well-oiled machine, I would have read this email and gone, I'm not going to read this email. I will just skip over it. But that's QFTA for you.
Yeah, I don't know. Trump's been distancing himself from it, but I wouldn't rule anything out. That's what I'd say.
Okay.
I wouldn't rule anything out. It's done. The Heritage Foundation, I think, is the one who published all that, and they're obviously super powerful, so...
Did you watch all of the debate on Tuesday night? Yes.
I watched a good 45 minutes of it. I saw.
And then you had to play a video game.
Yeah, I saw the 45 minutes I watched is what everyone's ending up talking about. It was like everything. It was interesting. That's what I'd say.
That's captivating. You're going to get a lot of followers with that take.
I mean, my take is, like, my honest take is...
Well, that's what we want. Isn't this honesty in media, or is that only a balloon party?
One person's ready to be president, and the other is totally not. But that should come up no surprise. I think Donald Trump is, like, the worst. So, like, surprise, surprise.
You've been kind of holding back.
Yeah.
You usually speak in codes, and today you decided to just go.
I really...
You called LeBron James the Hoosier Antichrist.
Yeah. God.
You're deciding to go, you know what, you're going to let yourself go here. You're just going to let it go. I don't give a fuck anymore. Is what Jackson Burkett has just announced. I don't give a fuck anymore.
I just don't see how you could watch what he was doing up there and be like, yep, there he is. That's who I want. I get if it's like going to help you out financially and that's your sole reason. Like, okay, do what you want. You vote for whoever you want. It's voting is the important thing. I just couldn't for the life of me ever circle his name when I go to the voting poll.
I didn't go into it going, I wonder if he's going to, I knew, you know what you're going to get. What I guess stood out to me was, and I don't know if people, I haven't heard anybody call it brilliant, because I don't necessarily even think it was brilliant. In poker, I became a winning player with one basic move, which is so basic that you go, oh my God. Now, this was 15, 16 years ago. But it's like, how do you not do this? If you raise pre-flop, back then, might be different now, probably is different now, you fire a continuation bet, no matter what. No matter what. And there's a healthy percentage of times you're just going to take the pot down right there. Now, I know that the game now, if you're in position, as in if somebody raises in, there's a point to me talking about this, by the way. If somebody raises before you, in particular, if you can kind of tell they're risk averse, or you can kind of tell, I don't know how to describe it, but you're probably going to be able to get them, and you raise as opposed to call, you're either going to take the pot right there, or they will check to you on the flop and you raise or you bet, and then they will fold. And the only thing you have to worry about in their range when they come back over the top is aces or kings. And if that's the case, then you muck the cards and away we go. With the continuation bet, it was ABC, and it was so easy. And I go, wow, I wish I would have been continuing. The first 3 years when I was losing a bunch of money. Yeah. Why am I bringing this up right now? Because what Kamala Harris did was so basic. I just was like, how's this working? It's just like, oh, you brought up the Wharton School of Business. Why did you do that? It was just all, she was asked about immigration, and then she brings up the crowd sizes. It was just, I'm just like, this is, in a way, it's sad that such an unsophisticated play worked. But it worked,
Yeah, baited them.
And then I'm like, okay, I'm curious what, Griff season will say following this. And then it became the moderators, so it was 3-on-1. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what we're going to do now.
He's complaining about the refs.
So, it's honestly, it's all sad.
Yeah.
But my hope is that it may be coming to an end. I suppose that's my hope. But yeah, I'm like this. Whoever came up with the strategy, when you're asked about immigration, a weak point, bring up the crowd sizes at the Trump rally, which is the one thing that he's going to be able to have an advantage over from a policy standpoint on you, and it'll be the bright shiny object. And in a way, you're just like, it's like watching a game going, what are they doing?
Totally.
So if I were somebody who was pro-Trump or anti-Harris, or take your pick of whatever reason why you would be whatever, and I'd be like going, ah! But I would rather people say that as opposed to then blame the moderators, who all they did was point out that, you can't abort a baby after 9 months when the baby's born.
Right.
Well, these moderators are again. God almighty.
Yeah,
because if the moderators don't point out that,
then people might think it's like the case.
Now, I have to say, with regard to, I think Trump said, and I actually did see an interview with him where he said, I think it was with Lex Friedman, actually. You ever watch his podcast?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've seen.
So he was a guest on his podcast. Donald Trump was a guest on Lex Friedman's podcast. And he did, because I was in my TikTok algorithm, and it stood out to me. I saw this about, 5 days ago. He said, we lost by a little bit, or something we just got in 2020. And I remember thinking to myself, going, wow.
This is new.
This is unbelievable. God bless, he's acknowledging he lost in 2020. And so that is what David Muir, I believe, Muir, the moderator, one of the moderators was, cited, and then he denied that he said it. And I thought that when David Muir said, well, I was being satirical, or I was being sarcastic, Muir said, well, I didn't detect any sarcasm. I go, Right there.
Right.
That's not fact checking. Now you're opining, and that didn't. So
yeah, they weren't totally.
But that was not a 3-on-1. It was a easily triggered kamikaze mission that may have wonderful policies from some people's perspectives, but God, you can't have that person vocalizing them and effectively. But with that said, I noticed this. I was tracking it throughout. I'm always monitoring Bovada during the debates. Donald Trump started the debate -115, -105. At 8:28, he was -115, -105. 8:58 was -110, -110. And by the end of the debate, Kamala Harris was the favorite to win the election. So in 75 minutes, it changed that quickly. So your questions are welcome. Yeah, Project 2025, honestly, anything I'd say.
The moment I logged off from the debates, Tim, was when it was the SNL sketch of they're performing transgender operations on illegal aliens in prison. I was like, okay.
Oh.
I was like, I'm done. I can't. It's like,
did I mistake when he said she put out?
I didn't hear that. I might have.
I mean, I feel like that. I mean, he absolutely said it, and then he said, I'll say it. It was when it was asked about her race and his comments on that, and then he went there, she also put out, which of course is one of the things attached to her as she was coming up.
Right.
And I was going, oh my God. I'm like, this is like, now it's like just full scam. Like, holy shit, he's so far off the rails.
Yeah.
To take it back to a poker analogy, there have been times when I've played in the main event, probably even smaller tournaments, where you can tell like a guy is so tilted. And at first it's kind of amusing, and then it's just like awkward. You don't really want to watch.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what it was. He was so tilted.
Yes, he was getting tilted.
It was so tilted, but it was so easy to tilt. It's just like, God. Right. Like I didn't go, wow, that was brilliant. I'm like, God, that was easy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she did a lot of dodgy questions.
Right. She was clearly nervous. Like I didn't anticipate that the first, 5 minutes or so. Like she was talking like a KOMU weekend
it was a
newscast.
little shaky.
But I could tell like it was so obvious that that she was nervous.
And she was dodging questions. There's no doubt about that. But.
But specifically the immigration question, she brought up his rallies and how people leave.
Yeah.
And that was the way to avoid it, because she knew that then that would get him to focus on that, and it totally tilted him. You could actually, in the 2 box, see his facial expression change. That's like the thing. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, this sucks that it's like that easy to just send somebody who has been president, could be president again, off the rails, and then you can't actually get a policy discussion because she's going to just put the bait out and it's going to work. I mean, it's so, like, if I were watching like somebody want to be student council president in a high school, I'd go, hey man, what are you doing? Much less president of the United States. All right, next question. Tim, last week on QFTA, Jackson asked you if you ever played the hammer game while golfing. You said that you and your friends really like your game. Yes, that's basically all we play, honestly. My question is, what is, quote, your game? I shoot in the mid to upper 90s and want a few options that would be a challenge when I play against my buddies who are significantly better golfers than I am. Thanks and enjoying the show. That's from Just Tim. Jackson, you've played the game. Would you like to attempt to explain it? No, you would not.
I just kind of hear there's points, there's bets points for proximity to the hole.
There's two. I'll go ahead and
because I
there's two. It's under one umbrella. It's essentially Scotch with a NAS as a Nassau running simultaneously, and this is the game with the dollar figures. Do with what you want. Don't really care. $20 NASs. They're not overalls. They're front and back, so it closes out in the front. And if you're down 2 and it's 2 versus 2, net game. So handicaps with USGA handicaps. Somebody's down 2, there's an automatic new NAS. So if it's somebody's up 2 after 2 holes, that first one continues to go on, but now there's a new one and it's even. Automatic press is what it is. So that, you have those bets running simultaneously, and then there is a point for, of the 4, whoever is closest to the hole in regulation, not, there's no prox point if no one's on in regulation. So that's prox. That's 1 point. Each point's worth $4. Then the team total is 2 points, so therefore $8. This is on each hole. And then the low individual of the 4, the team gets $8. Right. And it's low net. Mm-hmm. A birdie gets another point. And then if there is a press, so for example, if somebody were to win all the points on one hole with a birdie, Jackson.
The old 96er?
No, that's with a press. Right, it's $48. $48. If there is a press, it's $96. Yeah. And I would say our games, we average, I'd say 0.5 old 96ers.
Give or take. Yeah.
I have been a part of 2 190 tours, and I've been on the receiving end of it in the bad way, in which my playing partner pressed when our opponents were already on the green, bowled, and we both missed the green. They then repress, and one of them sinks the putt for birdie, and we lost $192 right then there on the spot. The old 190 tour. Yeah. The 190 tour is like a unicorn. You can live your whole life and never see the 190 tour. I've seen 2.
Like quads.
I'm telling you. Yeah, I've had some quads. I've had more quads than.
Is quads?
Never had a royal flush.
I was literally about to ask. Royal flush is more rare than quads. Royal flush beats everything.
Yes,
right?
I was actually in my first World Series of Poker main event. This has become a big poker day for me. We talked about it on TMA, and now in 2008, the same night Andy Dick wound up in producer Joe's room. Ray Romano of Everybody Loves Raymond. Everyone loves Ray. Everybody loves Ray. I think it's everybody. I think so. He was playing like 3 tables over from me, and since we had people out there to take pictures of me playing, this is pre-phones taking pictures, as crazy as that sounds, got a picture with Ray Romano, and we were bullshitting in one of the breaks, and I said, were you at the table? And this is a famous hand. They show it on ESPN every once in a while. A guy, I think, had quad aces and lost to a royal flush.
Oh, my God.
And this was like 3 tables over from me. And I don't know if Ray was at the table or he was 1 table over. And
is that the baddest beat of all time?
I would imagine you could if you're involved in the betting pattern of that and you see what's out there, you know it's possible.
I guess, yeah.
You know, a bad beat is like, I've actually, the worst beat is a mathematical 1-outer.
Yeah.
Like, I think I had it happen where I had pocket aces and a guy, we were all in, and he had pocket kings and had a king of clubs come to give him a set. I would have gotten a flush. Mm-hmm. But if the king of diamonds comes on the river, it's the one card in the deck that can beat me, because then I wouldn't get a flush. Yeah. And it actually hits, and it knocked me out of a World Series of Poker circuit event. It wasn't in Las Vegas. It was here at Ameristar, whatever the hell it's called now. I don't know. But I mean, that happened. If you want to get mad about it, don't play. Sure. That's one of those, when people give their bad beat stories, I'm like, fuck off. If you don't like, that's the game. Nobody did anything wrong. What is he supposed to fold pocket kings?
Old Pesci.
Fuck off. Let's see what we got going on here.
I like Ray Romano.
He was a delight. Big Worm says, hey, Jack and Tim. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for taking all the time today to go live. We all really appreciate all the hard work you do for us listeners day in and day out. Stay safe and take care.
Is that from what they would call TMA Kiss Ass #1?
That's from One Little Clug, but people are now mocking this Jake Reynolds, who is just a gentleman.
He really is. I've met him a couple times. He's just a sweet man.
He is. He's got goodness in his heart.
Yeah,
he does.
That's the truth.
I feel like if I had a chance to sit down with Jake for just an hour, probably would need more. I think he views TMA and the business of TMA in a utopia, so to speak. And then I would lay out with spreadsheets and dollars and such and explain why some of the things that I think he'd like the show to have 15 people on it. Yeah. And I'd have to explain, Jake, I know it's a beautiful sentiment. It can't happen, and here are the reasons why. Right. And I think that would be helpful. But as far as his spirit goes, there's not a kinder man. He won the August Milagro Tequila List of the Month, or July Milagro Tequila List of the Month, and that just upset some listeners.
Yeah, they did not like that.
They did not like somebody with positivity actually winning. Let's see what I got. What are your favorite plays in college football this weekend? And does Mizzou cover the 16.5 versus Boston College? That's from Epson Tag. Jackson, you got to bet $100.
Yeah.
$100 is smart for you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You got to take one side of it.
I'll take Mizzou to cover.
See, even with that. $1,000.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to do for 100, I'll do for 1,000.
Okay, all right. I didn't know if that would change things.
No, I'm in Missouri.
My real answer is I don't know. I don't know if I'm really overrating Boston College, I'm really underrating Missouri, or this is my Missouri PTSD. I am so worried about this game, and I hope by halftime I'll have like hillbillies and dog avatars and scripture passages, burner tweeting at me. Yeah. Oh, where's Boston College? I'll be more than happy. It'd be great. I don't give a fuck.
That'd be great.
Wonderful.
Perfect.
I'm not saying Boston College will win this game. I'm just like, I'm worried about this game.
Yeah.
When you feel like you have something to lose, you care.
Oh yeah.
So when Missouri lost, I don't know what came first. I think it was the Auburn thing came first, but they already lost a game when they lost to Auburn.
Yeah.
I don't know who had they lost to. The Auburn thing where the missed field goal.
22. Yeah, they had K-State. I think they got smoked by K-State.
So at that point, I'm kind of like, I mean, and this is pre-playoff.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I mean, I was out on the golf course. I'm like, this is just stupid, whatever. I mean, what are you doing missing that field goal? Oh, my God, he fumbled at the half-yard line. But if Missouri were 4-0 at that moment and that happens...
Yeah, totally different.
I'm upstairs in my room telling my wife, keep the boys away from me. I need to unwind.
Decompress. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
So that's the thing. Mm-hmm. So even if they lost to Boston College, theoretically, they still could be in it. We both deep down know
they'd be up against it.
They would probably need to win out. Probably.
They need to run the team.
Or they need Boston College to wind up being one of the best teams in the country.
If they won the ACC, it'd be a different story.
Right.
But yeah, they need to run the table, essentially.
Yeah. So...
I will say that the public likes the over of 54.5, but the money is loving the under, and I think the under plays much more to Missouri than it does Boston College.
Where's the sides?
They like both the public and the money, not by much, like Boston College.
Okay.
But it's 70% each way.
I guess the one thing, I mean, I love it. There's something that, like a parade or something. Thank God this game's on in the morning, so I don't have to go to this parade.
There's a parade?
Yeah. Because my wife's like, well, we can go. And I'm like, yeah, I'm happy to go. But then what it does, it puts her parents on having to watch the boys.
Right.
And then even if we just take the 7-year-old, then the parents have to watch the 2-year-old. It's not like we're doing them any favors. Mm-hmm. And I said, all I know, in my mind, I'm like, hey, you remember me during the LSU game and how fucking weird that was? That's me on Saturday at 11:45. I said, you guys can be there with me. You guys can be at this parade. Either way, I'm either at Faroe Field or in front of the television watching this game.
Yeah.
That's just the rest of the week. I'll, whatever I got to do that's the deal. I work and be a father and couldn't be happier about those responsibilities. But from 11:45 until about 3 o'clock on Saturday, and at 3 o'clock, I think I will have a much better idea of what Missouri is in 2024.
Yep.
I think.
Should.
And also, not that many people around here would give a shit. Although I have a few friends of mine who went to Boston College. I guess it's a Jesuit thing from St. Louis High. Sure. We'll have a better idea what Boston College is. 'Cause I am truly tempted. If we had sports betting in St. Louis,
that'd be great.
I would fuck $100 on Boston College win the ACC. Not because I think they will, but because I'm getting 45 to 1 on my money. Mm-hmm. It's like VCs that bet 100 different companies, and probably 95 of them are going to go bust.
Right.
But your expected value on the hit isn't doubling your money.
Right.
It's, God only knows your money. That's my mindset on these absurd bets. There's, as dumb as it is, part of me that goes, $100 on the Cardinals. It's plus $60,000 to win the World Series. Let's see what we got. With the industry of radio, this is dangerous because I haven't read through this one. Mm-hmm. With the industry of radio being so turbulent at times, do you guys have fears that layoffs could be imminent with many other industries beginning to lay off employees at this time? That is from, I don't know. I didn't know that other industries were. I know radio. I know it's a tough time for radio. That's absolutely accurate. Commenting on Hubbard publicly in that situation would be ill-advised. I would imagine people would respect that. It's difficult. I suppose, I don't know what I can and can't say specific to my own situation, but the industry is just shifting. It's not that people aren't listening, or I guess the kind of consultant buzzword phrase, consuming content. It's just they're going in different places to do it.
Yeah.
I guess would be it. So that's the deal. With regard to TMA, if for whatever reason they go, you're out, I'd go, well, okay, we own the IP, then we'll just set up shop and do it here. Right. But I would imagine most people listening, and I'm not attempting to be condescending, I just do that naturally. Mm-hmm. But what I would imagine most people understand, though, is if we were to just take it to YouTube exclusively, and we talked about this when we were KFNS.
Yep.
So this is going back 3 years. If TMA generates X now, and I can give you to the dollar what it is currently billing for 2024. If TMA generates X, and that's with a 24-person sales staff, very important part of the equation, what percentage of X comes with TMA if it's exclusively on YouTube with a 0-person sales staff?
Right.
So,
that's the formula.
And that is exactly the formula. That's it. It's that simple. Yep. Now, when people talk about the show or talk about people they like or people they don't like or don't like moves they think I make, whatever it is, and that's fine. That comes with the territory. It's like when I talk about bad beats in poker. You don't like it, don't play the game. I don't want to deal with it, don't play the game. That's what the money's for. I would imagine most people can understand that, but that's it. You can say, oh, I like this person, I don't like this person, but that's it. It's just like any other business, and you can like the business. I loved Burger Chef when I was a tyke. You don't even know about Burger Chef. Burger Chef was probably long gone by 15 years by the time. And it's not around anymore.
They made burgers with cheese?
They did. Yeah. I think there was one by the Hoffmeister Funeral Home on Chippewa.
I know where that is. I know exactly where that is.
Is it a Fazoli's now? Is that still around?
Yeah, it's the next to IHOP, right?
Is it an IHOP now?
Might be is it like across from?
There was an IHOP there.
There's like a Qdoba in that neck of the woods, like pretty close to.
Either way, it was a Burger Chef. Okay. Some building there was a Burger Chef. Then it became a Noggles.
What's a Noggles?
It's like Mexican, but they did burgers.
Oh, yeah.
That never really works, does it?
There's a place right by me near the hill. I don't know if it's technically
Noggles?
The hill. No, but a place it's like a Mexican restaurant that does like fried chicken.
Bold.
Yeah, apparently it's good.
I go to Amigos in downtown Kirkwood, and they have fries. And I'll get a steak quesadilla, and then I'll get spicy fries with it. My wife just goes, ugh. It's such a turnoff.
But it's so delicious. I'm really craving tacos. Me and my girlfriend might get tacos tonight.
Where are you going to get them from, boy?
Rockstar Tacos is right by me.
Oh!
Love Rockstar Tacos. It's really good. And they have fries.
Oh!
With the Dustins.
I'm really happy for you right now.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I'm excited for myself.
And your girlfriend's just going to sit there and watch you play as South Carolina?
Oh, we'll probably watch it. She loves the NFL, so we'll probably watch a little bit.
Look at that.
She loves the NFL.
I'm going to bet you whatever amount of money that you're engaged by the end of 2025.
I can.
I know you can.
I'm not betting. I'm putting a week or a fortnight ban on me betting with you. I'm not betting with you for 2 weeks.
You realize I get it in good. Doesn't mean I always win, but I get it in good.
I know. So 2 weeks, I'm no bets with you. I gotta.
That fucking parlay you did with me was just like.
I had it. The bigger thing was the Kentucky-Georgia one. If I would have got that, I would have felt really good.
That you really think John Mazalak and Ali Marmol are going to have their roles on opening day next year? Yeah. You really do? Do you really feel it? God almighty.
I
think there's a chance you go 0 for 3, so I think you should pay me again if you go 0 for 3 on the parlay.
No, well, it's a 2-week ban, so no dice.
That can't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fucking Chairman Kurt. Otherwise, I would have walked out of there with $100.
By the way, does this seem like a stinky line to you? Oregon State in Corvallis taking on Oregon, and they're 16.5-point dogs.
I know nothing about what Oregon State's doing this year. I know about Oregon's issues with teams from Idaho, but I don't know anything about Oregon State this year.
They beat Idaho State. Oregon State beat Idaho State 35-15, and then they blanked San Diego State 21-0.
I don't know anything about either one of those teams, though.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like some about that.
I'm not betting the Missouri thing one way or the other. I would love it if Missouri covers. If Missouri covers. Now, again, there's I can't believe that Florida State's that shitty. The only thing that we've got, what is Syracuse right now? Syracuse is 2-0. Who is Syracuse beating? Because Syracuse beat Georgia Tech.
Right.
And it wound up being close. They were beating him pretty comfortably. It wound up being 31-28.
Remember, they have Kyle McCord now, the erstwhile Ohio State.
They do, and I saw him playing.
Yeah.
Boy, you type in Syracuse schedule, and why can't I just get a straight fucking answer when I type in college football schedules? Okay, they beat Ohio and Georgia Tech, so I don't know on that.
I don't know much
but
about
Syracuse lost to Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech beat Florida State. Boston College outplayed the fuck out of Florida State.
Yeah, but Florida State got zero pressure on that guy back there. He got no pressure.
I know.
He had all
but that isn't like a flaw in Florida State. That's a compliment to Georgia or Boston College.
I think it's both.
I'm telling you, Boston College has the same kind of thing Missouri had last year. And they have a guy.
Oh, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
It's like, let me just take you to a peak of a winter of discontent. The Cardinal situation, even though I might throw $100 on it because it's plus 60,000, I realize I'm just a $100 bill, but whatever. I'm so wealthy.
Yeah, give it to me, and I'll pay you $60,000 if it happens.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'll house this bet.
That if Missouri loses that game, what are we talking about? Okay, there. Because the answer is the Blues, which I know, really, there's Jackson. I hope people are watching this. Watch Jackson just have a life sucked out of him. And I'll be into that, but deep down, I think everybody kind of knows it's very unlikely there's going to be a chalice.
Right.
Like we're hoping for a wild card there. Yeah,
you just talked about the VC thing where it's like you're not looking to double your money, you're looking to 6 or 7, 8x. If Missouri being really good and having a chance is to me, and I think it's 6x what it would mean for MLB or NHL or NFL or NBA team to be going on a run, because there's so many more teams and there's really only a couple of teams that can win the national championship year in.
Most likely, I agree with that. Yes.
So
very rarely in college football, and now baseball's becoming this too. Does a team you come on and go, whoa, where the hell did they come from?
Super rare. Yeah, super rare.
As far as regular season wins in baseball, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And if you look at the MLB standings, I think most people would agree with that.
Yeah.
By the way, and everything's by the way on this show, but I recall, and I did bet it. It was a 4-figure wager. Oakland season win total, because that's what that Derek Canty or Carty, he loved that as far as an over, and it was 57.5. And then his under, and I was kind of like, God, I don't know. I like the Reds this year. It was the Reds. And he's...
Yeah.
So that's what I like, large sample size plays of the season-long thing, because it reduces variance.
Sure.
You're always, speaking of which, the Cardinals and Reds are doing battle right now. I wonder what that scene looks like. I just belched up my load, Bill. Everywhere. Bill.
Is it packed to the gills right now?
Think so?
No, I'd be surprised if there was 150 people there.
Really?
No, that's big.
What's the weather
hyperbolic.
like? We're in our studio. We have no idea what the hell's going on out there.
No, we can't even see outside.
82 degrees. Choice. Ball striking season.
Ball striking season. Oh, on the TMA.
What the fuck was I talking about before? Hell, I have no idea. Let me take it. Somebody wants to take a bet with Jackson. Alex Lanson. Can I take that? Can I take the bet regarding Jackson? Oh, the engaged? Yeah, I do. And yes, betting with you is especially if it's like a really big amount of money. Like I'll be buying the engagement ring by you waiting until January 1st, 2026, which you absolutely should do. But yeah, and I'm happy for you though.
Thank you.
I really am.
Thank you.
And I think you know that. Yeah. I mean that.
100%.
But yeah, that's where I think this is going. Especially now that Sweet Kai is engaged.
Yeah, that cleared everything up. Everyone's free.
I do think it's a little goofy. Brought you coffee.
I don't know what to tell you.
I did, but I didn't think it in the moment until somebody pointed it out.
He's just like, I'm in the neighborhood. You want some coffee? Like
if a buddy of mine ran up here with coffee, I'd be like, "The fuck you doing?"
I don't think it's. I mean,
okay.
You know, the boy needed some caffeine. My caffeine.
But you didn't call out, "Hey, I need some coffee."
Right.
Kai texted you to say, "Can I pick up some coffee for you?"
Well, he's sweet Kai. He's a sweet man.
Right.
What do you think? We're like gone smooching?
Smooching with the boys.
I keep watching the Jiminy Glick Bill
with Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal, but the new one. I know I love Bill Hader so much that just watching him crack up is like my favorite thing.
The Billy Crystal one, I couldn't find it for years on YouTube, and then somehow somebody, and it looks like a porno from like 78, the VHS of it.
Yeah, right.
But Billy Crystal, I can't get to the high pitch of Jimmy Flick I was about to try to. You play a game with Benson or Soup. It was very controversial at the time because you were smooching with the boys.
So funny.
And Billy Crystal did play like a boy who wore a diaper on this program of Soap, and he was gay. He was like the first gay character. This is like the late 70s.
Late 70s, yeah.
I'm pretty sure Billy Crystal wore a diaper on Soap. Somebody will check on that. We'll talk about it on Balloon Party.
78 to 88, just wild times. People were just...
And that's because of Webster and Different Strokes.
It's because of the White Horse.
Oh, God bless America. Let's see what else we got here. Jackson, what's your dark horse conference finals team for 25? I think this is an NBA question, Jackson.
What's my dark horse final?
I assume. I can't imagine he wants your take on like the Avalanche and Stars.
I don't know. It's too early to tell. Oklahoma City's a little young, but I really like what they got going. I'll go with Oklahoma City.
There it is, Oklahoma City. It's Thunder time. My buddy's kid's second birthday is from 11 to 2 on Saturday. Bad beat, but I'll be the guy in the corner with my phone. I've already given proper notice. That's from Tony F. Tony Fino. Let's have a conversation. This is just me and Tony F. You can go watch Oklahoma City B-roll. Let me tell you something, Tony F. I learned this. I didn't know it until I had a child turn 2. I didn't know it until I had a child turn 1. And I don't know if you know this, Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm doing pretty well in this. I never want to be, oh, you don't understand because you're not parent guy. Mm-hmm. I'm so adamant on that. I'm trying to get through life without ever doing that.
Right.
But this is one of those things you don't know until, so it's not a, you fucking idiots, you don't know, you don't understand what it's like to be dad. It's not that. The first birthday party, I just spit cum all over my chin. The first birthday party is like a big thing for people really get into that. Like, and parents come over and they drink and it's a whole thing. I was alarmed by how many people who I consider friends and also kind of some acquaintances came over for our older son's first birthday party. The house was packed. Back in, I guess that would have been 2018. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, oh, I guess this is what people do. And then we have a second birthday party, and it's like, it's me and my wife and my son, and maybe my mom, because my dad, I don't know, Notre Dame's on, Missy. I'm not going over there for that shit. The second birthday party.
Not much.
People will buy up your first birthday party stock.
Yeah.
They want nothing to do with the second birthday party. I didn't know.
Yeah, that's weird.
So, Tony, you're clearly unhappy about this situation. Furthermore, it's your buddy's kid's second birthday from 11 to 2. Number one, what the fuck are you doing going?
Yeah. Faking illness.
And number two, just sit there with the phone and don't feel any guilt about it.
No.
That's it.
College football season.
I mean, I can't even imagine. My wife could go, listen, if you go to this second birthday party from 11 to 2 on Saturday, you'll return home to a daisy chain with me, Ella Reese, Abigail Mack, anybody else you want to throw in there?
Boy. Who's in the oil scene?
Chasey Lane. Chasey Lane pre-H.
Right.
I mean, I think I would still decline it.
Wow.
I think I would still decline it.
I hope they're listening in Columbia, Missouri right now. Use that as a promo for the Tigers.
Yeah, Gabe, right about that.
Yeah, seriously, Gabe.
I need to be able to. I can't. Now, if they lose, I can't say. If they lose to Boston College and Vanderbilt, I don't even know if I'll watch the A&M game.
Yeah.
See, that's how quickly I go. Oh, you're a fair weather fan. Fine, call me names. Don't give a fuck.
It would make me too sad to watch that, especially if they won. It would be like, oh my god.
So with the Auburn thing, when people talk about the Kentucky pass interference game, which Gangster Pete was at my house with Doug, Iggy, and Plowhawk, and Iggy and Plowhawk were cheering for Kentucky.
I would not do well with that.
But Missouri had 3 or 4 losses at the time.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares? That's my view. I just don't give a fuck.
I don't know if they had that.
I am over under 2.5.
I'm not betting with you. I got 2 week ban.
Right. You got the embargo. Oh, I got to do this.
I feel like they were only like 2, because that was Drew Lock's senior year, like his last year, and I felt like they were better because they played Texas in that whatever bowl.
All right, they beat Tennessee Martin, beat Wyoming, revenge, beat Purdue, lost to Georgia 3-1, lost to South Carolina 3-2, lost to Alabama 3-3.
Yeah, all right.
Beat Memphis, lost to Kentucky.
Okay.
Yeah, 4-3. Who the fuck cares? But it's talked about up there with like the Tyus Edney and the fifth down and the flea kicker, and I'm like,
it was just such bullshit. It was like it was a worse call than it was like worse for the season.
Okay, yeah. The fifth down thing, that's the number 1 team in the country that wound up being a national champion.
Right.
1995, you're in the Sweet 16. That team, UCLA team, goes and wins the national champion. Flea kicker, it's a number 1 team, and Missouri was really moving in the right direction in 97. That team was a 3-3 or 4-3 team, Yeah. I mean,
I get it. Yeah.
So that's where I'm coming from.
No,
although I do have to say this. I mean, shit. They would have finished. Would they have finished the season 9-3?
Yeah, they ran the table after because then they played Texas, where what's his name?
They never played Texas.
That wasn't that the bowl. The bowl game was
Oklahoma
against
State, and they lost to Oklahoma State.
When did they play the bowl game against Texas? That was a year prior with.
I can only look up one Missouri schedule per podcast.
Tom Herman, what's his name?
Yeah, what's he doing now?
No, probably give and takes.
Oh, you think he's a take guy?
That's the pathway. Get fired, give takes for 2 years, get back to coaching. Cycle repeats itself. Dan Mullen will be taking over some FCS school or a low FBS school soon. Move his way up. I'll say he'll go to Wake Forest. 4 years there. They'll can him.
Wake Forest.
The cycle will repeat itself. That's how it goes.
Doggy season tickets holder says, I'm trying to be more optimistic this weekend. Mizzou's shoving it down BC's throat, and we're all walking around with hard-on Saturday night at the Doggies game when they skull pound Minnesota for dessert.
I'm not too worried about the Doggies game, but I am. I am, for this wedding I'm going to, my mood and like if I'm going to be dancing, have a good time is totally dependent on this Mizzou beat. If they lose, I'm going to be I'll sit there and,
My wife and I are trying to get to dinner on Saturday. We do this Resi app, I think is what it is. You use the Resi app?
Mm-mm.
Trying to get into Louis or Wright's Tavern.
Right.
I got to tell you, that Wright's Tavern.
Is it business?
I mean, Louis, the tits. But
the chicken at Louis, right? That's the thing?
Oh.
Yeah, I got to get that.
But I mean, it's not just the chicken. But yeah, because you're just like, a piece of chicken, how good? And then you get it and go, oh my fucking God, what are they doing?
That's what I've heard.
But that Wright's Tavern, it's one of those things, I'm like, okay, this is what like the riches all rave about, and it's a thing to be able to get a table, so it becomes a thing, and I want nothing to do with things.
Right, because that leads to filler.
It does, actually. Yeah, it does. That's a nice, things lead to filler.
That's the title.
Yeah, I like that. Things lead to filler. But we were able to get a table, I don't know, about a month ago at this point, and it's like, holy shit. Yeah. And I got to tell you, I mean, relative to what you would think, considering its location on Wydown and the reputation, I mean, I got a burger and we got these crab cakes. I couldn't have been happier. There are certainly more expensive options. Point being, you don't have to go in there and spend.
Yeah. Crab cake is something I've recently got.
It is the crab cake there and the burger, but there's other stuff there, of course.
Beef steak?
There's beef steak. There's beef steak. I think it's called that, too. I'll take the beef steak. Let's see. Cards are lowering costs and selling the team. Oh, wow. Okay, breaking news. Cards are lowering the costs and selling the team. They will wait until they get public funding for the ballpark and then sell the team in the stadium. The DeWitts will keep Ballpark Village. All right? That's a Tim McKernan Show exclusive, courtesy of Dave Matthews.
Yep.
So go ahead and tweet that out.
Yep.
That was a 2-week resignation look on Jackson when Tim brought up the Blues. You're going to resign in 2 weeks. That's what the dog season ticket said.
No. I'm in it for the long haul, baby.
Let's see. The days of small biz local sports radio like KFNS appear to be over, making it hard for new local talent to emerge without YouTube. What is the key for a new show to build an audience on YouTube? I don't know. I mean, I could do a whole separate podcast on this. Just because a business is still operating doesn't mean a business is profitable. And if a business has an owner that is willing to put in his or her own funds to keep it operating, the public may think the business is healthy, but that doesn't mean the business is healthy. So KFNS operated, and I don't have, and it's not my place, but I would wager confidently that owner Dave Zobrist bankrolled it as soon as he took over to the day he decided to shut it down. Otherwise, he wouldn't have shut it down. If it were profitable or even close to breaking even, he wouldn't have shut it down. Mm-hmm. So a radio or broadcast or podcast entity's success, as I have been saying now, I think for a couple of decades, but certainly for a decade plus, is determined by sales, just like any other business. For whatever reason, our business attracts people who are not in our business to take their money, light it on fire, and think they can run it. Like, just because I've had some modicum of success in broadcasting, I don't go, you know what? I think I'll try my hands at law, right. Or I think I'll open up a retail shop. I have no idea why I guess people think that they can operate these things. And I'm not saying this is highbrow shit, but you still have to know about it. Just like I'm fascinated by their careers, hence Sound Story, asking people questions about their careers. I love hearing about that, but I know I don't know anything about it. Right. There are still basic tenets of supply and demand and, customer service and being responsive and so on that translate to all businesses. But just because KFNS went out of business doesn't mean that KFNS was thriving. I don't know, seriously, if KFNS and whatever company owned it has turned a profit. And I'm not saying that it hasn't, but I don't know if whoever has owned KFNS has turned a profit in the last 20 years. If we were to go year by year, taking a look at the tax returns, which we'll never be able to do. So just because somebody puts money into it and it continues to exist, it doesn't mean that it's thriving. So therefore, just because it goes out of business doesn't mean that the industry does not work. Is this...
No, I get what you're saying.
Okay, but do you think? But you kind of know the business.
Yeah, I think you're laying it out.
I'm trying to say this this applies to any industry.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, just because KFNS went out of business 2 months ago, doesn't mean that style cannot work.
Right.
I would say this: that station was sold for about $13 million. That's public information. In 2004-ish, I believe, was when it closed. The Atlanta Group bought it from Greg Marisek's group. And, I know what my agreement was to buy it. It wasn't $13 million.
Right.
It was also less than $12 million.
Right. And so on and so forth.
And we could go on for a while. And so... now, fortunately, think about OnlyFans, Jackson.
I always am.
Thank you. What has happened in our industry, which I actually think is a good thing, is the middleman, much like OnlyFans, needing the studios and sometimes directors who would abuse the performers, they're not needed.
Yeah.
What is needed oftentimes, though, is the infrastructure and the sales staff. That's what's needed.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the analytic. So anyway, I apologize for, I don't really apologize, but I know I took it off track. And I'm not going after the person who posted it so much as I just, anytime specific to our industry, something is passed off as a truth and I'm going, that's not true. Because I mean, listen, there's a chance KFNS turned a profit. I'd be shocked, actually. I don't know when the last realistic year that KFNS could have turned a profit would be. Honestly, maybe 2008 or 9.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
But if you get a show that brings in a bunch of money, then you got something.
Sure.
But hey, then that show costs money.
Yeah.
So that's the deal. But what I'm saying is this: let's just say you buy KFNS buy any station, an AM station, for X. Is it realistic in 2024 that you are going to sell that 5 years later? Let's say it's a 5-year exit for, I could say any multiple. You're not going to even sell it for 2x,
right.
Much less what I think most would hope for would be in the 5 to 8.
Right.
It's just not going to happen because the value of the stick in the license is not there. Right. It's not there anymore. So when we were looking at buying KFNS, in one of the great, I'm telling you, I know I've used the analogy before. It's another poker thing, but when I've run deep in tournaments before, oftentimes it's not the hands I've won, but the hands that I've dodged bullets on. That was a bullet dodged in the sense that, holy crap, and really in hindsight, I'm kind of like, what the hell were we even doing? Well, I know what I was doing. I was trying to keep guys from losing their jobs, which, hey, I guess some people would say that's honorable, but it's really stupid business, being blunt. And I believed and I think we would have been successful with it, but we would have been successful with TMA, but the business never would have been, we bought it in 2020, we're approaching 2025, we profited. I bet we would have profited, but we wouldn't have profited like some 40% margin or something like that. And now we're going to be able to sell it for, even 3x. It's just not going to happen. So the person asks the question, the days of small local sports radio like KFNS appear to be over. I disagree with that premise. I'd say KTRS continues to exist as an example of small locally owned radio. Making it hard for new local talent to emerge without YouTube. What is the key for a new show to build an audience on YouTube? I honestly don't know the answer to that because that's not how my career has gone. However, I don't dismiss it because I think, if anything, the same hustle and stick-to-itiveness, initiative, ambition that we had to have when I was coming up a quarter a century ago, and that was, you are going to have to start in a small market and make no money and work ridiculous hours, and there's a good chance 6 or 7 days a week, and move away from St. Louis and grind and hope that you go from either A ball or double A ball to a major league city. Now it's a different route. And my guess is it's social media, it's podcasts, it's TikTok, it's YouTube, Instagram. I guess the difference is now is whereas the pie was only cut up into a handful of pieces 25 years ago, now I think the size of the pie, and I'm talking about the dollars and the audience, they're chopped up, into thousands of pieces.
Right, but the pie's probably gotten bigger too, though.
Oh, I don't know on that. If you're talking like $1999 to 2024 and we made an adjustment, I don't know. I don't know on that. I think the dollars might be the same, but like where they're being spent is certainly different. Yeah. Local television and local radio versus digital. Mm-hmm. And I guess, I don't know, that'd be whatever. But my honest answer is I don't know. My honest answer is I don't know. You got any thoughts on this? This kind of applies more to your 26-year-old peers than somebody who's been doing this for 25 years.
So much of it is just kind of luck in a way. Like you put as many clips up as you can of, you start a podcast with your buddy and you just put clips up. One of them starts getting a big traction into the algorithm on Instagram or TikTok, capitalize on that, keep doing that. The question I would have is I know there's a bunch of people with huge followings on TikTok or Instagram with their clips that they post. I'd be curious what the retention rate is for people going to their podcast, listening to full podcasts. Because I know for me, I feel like I get enough out of someone I follow on TikTok just based on their clips where I don't need to go listen to their whole show. I don't know if that matters to them. I would assume it would, but I don't know. But it's a lot of it's you just get lucky on the TikTok algorithm or the Instagram algorithm. People see a ton of your shit, draws them to it. If they listen, great. If they don't, I don't know if they're making any money. You could have 1 million followers on TikTok. If people aren't listening to your podcast, are you making money? That's my question.
I suppose I put it this way. Maybe this answers the question in a more direct manner. Both of my sons are quite young, but if either one of them were, around 18 right now and said I wanted to go to Missouri for journalism school, I would do everything I could to stop them from doing that. And I owe whatever modicum of success I have, in part certainly to my education at St. Louis U High, but also in part to my education at the Missouri Journalism School. It's not about, that Missouri Journalism, it's about the industry. Right. It's just, it was difficult when I was leaving there in 98, 99. I just don't know how, I'd be curious if I talked with people who are in that now, what their plans were. Like, you can like sports. I loved the Cardinals. That's why I went to Missouri Journalism School, thinking I was going to call Cardinal games. Truly thinking that. I mean, it's kind of insane to think that, because there's two people, who do that. And at the time, both of them had the last name Buck when I was doing it. So just, I do remember one night, Steak and Shake on Hampton, my dad trying to get me to go to law school. But other than that, the fact that I was just kind of like allowed to delusionally pursue all of this, and that I guess it wound up working out, that's not a business model. That's like the Cardinal model. So let's hope somehow.
Yeah, right. It just falls into place.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, for real, I have no idea, because local TV is certainly a different deal. I don't know. What do you think? Do you know anybody who's in journalism school?
Yeah. Not currently, but was there when I was there.
And what are they doing? Are they in this industry?
Yeah.
Really?
One is the beat writer for the Vikings on The Athletic.
So is your age and is the beat writer?
Yeah,
okay. I mean, that's a lot right there. Just that.
Yeah.
Because 25 years ago, it would have gone, holy shit, that dude's got to be like a prodigy.
Right.
And now you go, well, there you go. And I can probably ballpark it within $5,000 what he's being paid.
Yeah. Shout out to Alec Lewis. Then another one of my buddies is writes for ESPN.com and the football recruiting part. He actually helped Ben Hochman write his book about the 2011 Cardinals.
Oh, yeah?
The interviews.
I was in that book, I think.
Yeah. Eli Letterman, great guy. And then there's one other kid who works in Charlotte doing local TV. And that's the three for sure. Yep.
And to be in Charlotte at 26 is an accomplishment.
That's where he started.
It's I don't know. I mean, this isn't groundbreaking shit, and I would imagine damn near anybody listening to this has no interest in it. But as in this field, but yeah, it's just I don't think my personality would jive with what I think I'd say got to do now to be successful, but I don't even know who's really successful. Like it depends on, I suppose, on what your definition of successful is.
Right. And now media, like journalism and entertainment, are kind of like I wouldn't consider Pardon My Take. While it's a sports podcast, they're not journalists. Those are entertainers. Those are the guys making a lot of money.
Right.
I don't know if
but yeah, like what journalists, take it to news if you like, or sports, is making a lot of money.
Sports journalists? Like
journalists in general, I'd go news as well.
Right.
The people I'm trying to get to the point, which I think is what you were making with Pardon My Take, who's making a lot of money in our industry, if you put it under the umbrella, are the people who are doing like the performative, or as we started out with, it's grifting season.
It is grifting season.
The grifting thing.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, or just, doing like the Orlovsky, this is the worst thing ever, this is the best thing ever. Yeah. That kind of thing.
That's like the ESPN panel show. Like I'm thinking,
right, but that's the gig.
Yeah.
That's where the money, and again, even that I bet is relative
to what it was. Yeah.
Well, I mean, but there are a handful of people who are making a ridiculous amount of money, and I don't know if I can think of any of them who I really think deep down believe the things they're saying.
Right.
But that's kind of that's the deal. Now, that's what I think. Now, if you disagree with that, I certainly want to hear you out.
I have no idea, what people make, and I don't know.
I'm talking tens of millions of dollars.
Right. I think,
but then you go to somebody who's working. I don't know. I'm getting into proprietary, I guess, when you start talking about ballpark. I think people would be, for as much as people in, let's go 26 to 47 range. So me being the old, you being the young. Would drop dead if they knew some of these salaries. Right. Drop dead if they knew. I'm talking about on the low.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But there's a reason for that. It's like, all these layoffs at ESPN and Pat McAfee's make all this money. Well, Pat McAfee brings in money. Would you be mad at him for that? So they're paying him whatever, and then they pay him, I don't know, we'll just call it $20 million, and they bring in $30 million because they're paying him $20 million. Well, then that's a good business deal.
Right.
So you want to pay a bunch of anchors who bring in no money, and you feel bad? I don't know what to say. Do you feel bad when a player gets cut from the NFL? I guess we feel badly, but
money's for.
This isn't that's the thing. I don't know. I'm just kind of always blown away by that.
Yeah.
But maybe it's the people who have been cut, that have more like that was wrong. I don't know what to say. that's what the money's for. The money's not just there for the reward. The money's there for your show and prove.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't bring in money, then you gotta go. Fuck! I know it's coming. Right. What are you mad? Then you're mad because you don't bring in money.
Right.
You should have fucking brought in money.
Yeah, they're running the business. That's how it goes.
I just never understand that. Oh, he got screwed. Did he bring in money? No. Well, then how the fuck did he get? If anything, he had a good deal. He had a free ride. He should be thankful. God, it shit pisses me off. Carlos Spicy Winner says hubris. Some extremely smart people think that because they're smart at one thing, that has made them incredibly wealthy, i.e. doctors. They certainly know how to run a business or invest money. That's from Carlos Spicy Winner.
Yeah, I think that's part of it.
Bernie and others have suggested that the Cardinals DFA Michaelis with a year left on the contract. What are the chances the Cardinals do it? Oh, boy. I don't know. Here's what I will tell you, Joe Boozrum, who asked that question. I have misread the Cardinal offseason consistently ever since I think it was the 2019-2020 offseason. I'm alarmed at how bad my reads have been. My belief is there is going to be an organizational messaging and organizational structure shift over the next couple of months. That's what I think. I don't think can't happen. I don't think that necessarily means they're going to go now and sign a bunch of people or trade for a bunch of people. I think the greatest thing the Cardinals could do would have that messaging change, have an organizational structure change, acknowledge, even if deep down they don't feel this way, but acknowledge the fans' frustration, acknowledge that the fans are being heard, because this is not just like people on social media, and unload the dollars and go, okay, it's going to take a little time, but we're going to get it back. And you might not like it, and these guys are great guys and great players, but we're not close, and we owe it to them to give them a better chance, and we owe it to ourselves to start allowing some of our younger players to play. I think that would be the best thing, because I'm just looking at it, and of course, same guy saying I put $100 on it to win $60,000, but that gives you an idea. I need 600 to 1 on my money.
Yeah, right.
That the Cardinals could go on some kind of run, but the likelihood of the whole thing, I'm not even talking about 2024. I'm talking about 2025. They're so far away. I would say this would be an incredibly intriguing offseason, but I've been so wrong, because I feel like there have been a number of off seasons ever since we started working together. This is going to be a huge off season, and then it's kind of.
I don't think this off season is going to be big at all.
And so, what do you think? So you obviously think Mozeliak and Marmol are still in the exact same spots on opening day.
I don't think they do anything. I truly don't.
Okay, do you think they bring back Goldschmidt? Because that's one that they have to make a decision on.
No, I don't think they do that.
Okay, all right. Well, that's good.
Yeah, I don't think they do that, but I don't think they add anybody significant.
All right, they got to make a decision on Lennon Gibson.
Bring one back. Yeah, bring one back. And I don't think they're going to make any moves outside of that. I really don't think. I think you're going to. The team you see now is pretty much the team that's going to run out.
And if that's the case, then all right. I still would unload some of the big dollars.
At least try to.
Yeah. But with that established, talk about the reasoning. Right. There has to be. I don't even know who can be the trusted face of the franchise.
Yeah, nobody in the organization right now, I don't think.
I mean, I think Bill DeWitt Jr. would have equity, but I don't think his, it's unfortunate sometimes, but more often than not, certainly exceptions, leaders are great speakers. Right. That's not really him, and he's also in his 80s at this point.
Yeah, it'd be kind of weird for him to pop up and be the one to be doing the
all of a sudden, right. It would be great.
Sure.
But it would be, I think it'd also be difficult. Yeah. I don't know if Bill DeWitt III, I mean, it'd be great. I don't know if he would. I don't know if that's necessarily his personality.
He probably should be the one to do it.
And this is where I go back to, you need like a Lamping guy.
Yeah, right. You need someone who can speak the language.
An Armstrong guy. I mean, the Blues equity versus the Cardinal equity is I know I talk about it often, but it speaks to the importance of messaging. Yeah. It's something else. All right, what else we got going on here? I watched 4 hours at the Capitol last night on Max, the January 6th doc. Holy shit, powerful stuff. If Trump loses in November, do you think we see something similar again?
I don't think so.
My honest answer again is I don't know, and it's not a cop-out. I just don't like to say shit when I really don't feel one way or the other strongly. I don't know. What is interesting to me, as you know, is I'm a big statistics probability guy. I'm telling you, by the way, this reminds me, and I'll get back to this. I had a listener. I don't think I've talked about this on the podcast. I know I told you and Chairman Kurt when we were on the back nine, Doug had to bolt at the turn.
Yeah.
About this book. It's Nate Silver's book.
You're telling me about this.
For maybe 1 out of 20 people listening to this, they would love it. For everybody else, they'd go, what the fuck is this? But it's called On the Edge. It came out about 3 weeks ago. Some people don't like Nate Silver now because I guess he's predicting Trump's going to win. Hey, he's a math guy. It's not like he's pretty confident. He's not a big Trump guy, but he's just, this is what the math tells me. I don't know what the fuck to tell you guys. You don't like it. It doesn't mean I'm pro-Trump. But whatever. The explanation, he was able to define my mindset, even though, of course, he has no fucking clue or interest in my mindset. I'm listening, I'm going, oh my God, this explains why I'm probably, I don't know what the right term would be, considered weird, unlikable, whatever these terms would be, because it's so probable. It just explains so much. And it starts off with poker, not because it's like breaking down, what do you do if you have Queen Jack suited? It's about the mindset of those who play the game and how they think and how process oriented and so on and so forth. So the reason why I bring that up is Nate Silver, and then there's another probability guy, I can't think of his name, who I follow, and they're still on Trump. They're like on Trump winning 60+%.
Wow.
I have to tell you, that really surprises me.
Yeah.
And that's not coming from I really don't want him to win thing. It's coming from I'm just really surprised by that. Right. But fuck, I certainly respect it.
Yeah, I feel like polling data would tell you something different.
I think there's the debate as to how much you factor in for when people are asked about who they'd vote for, or how many are willing. Like he always underperforms in these pre-election polls relative to what actually goes on in the ballot box.
Yeah.
Anyway, if I suppose if somehow it were a blowout, then I would feel better about no anarchy. If a number of Republicans came out and said, okay, we can't keep doing this. Right. It's over.
Right.
It's over.
Right.
Then, but I don't put anything.
Right.
I mean, I have said before, I'll continue to say, I don't know what else I can say because I believe it even more firmly, but I already believed it like on a 10 out of 10 level, that Joe Biden was set up to be removed from the Democratic ticket by the Democratic Party, hence the early debate. And I think that there was something off with him that night versus the State of the Union, if you look at the two speakers. And this was all mapped out. And I know I recognize when you hear it, I hope I don't sound like Alex Jones or something like that. I know it sounds so, but I absolutely believe it. I absolutely believe it. I really do. I just think that's what was going on. I think if the Republican Party, I think they would probably be like, oh my God, can we do something? But it's probably too late in the game.
Oh yeah, best of luck.
That I just remember, I think it was Nikki Haley who was the one that was saying, whichever party removes its 80-year-old candidate is the party that's going to win.
Yep.
And, so I'm operating the premise that it's likely that Kamala Harris wins. But again, likely doesn't mean I'm saying she is going to win. That's not the way that it works. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so if I get it in with ace king against pocket queens, I don't go, what the fuck? I didn't win. I recognize the math. The math is 52-48. So, you don't freak out about it. So point being, if you think for certain that he's going to win and then you think for certain he got screwed, then who knows? I don't know.
Right. I just don't know if there's going to be enough of those people.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I would love to answer these things honestly. I would. If I don't know, I don't know. But yeah, I have watched that documentary, and it's. Have you watched that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's rough. Yeah. It's not an easy watch.
I can't imagine.
You kind of have an idea of what went on, but it's rough.
They lay it out like they probably do.
It's not even lay it. It's the video. It speaks for itself, and it's not about like what's going on so much as like the tough images, I guess, of people in physical positions.
Hugh Shaman.
Yeah, well, that was going on, but I mean, he wasn't like in a violent spot, whether it be the police officers, the security guards, or the people protesting, and they're like getting smashed and phased, you can't breathe, and that's what I'm talking about. The election Nostradamus, who's called like every election in the past, however many, said it's Harris due to his key indicators, but I think we truly have no clue. Yeah, I've seen that.
He's got like 9 out of the last 10. He's gotten right.
I thought he's gotten every one of them. If we're thinking of the same guy, he has like a terrible toupee.
I think we're thinking of the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really don't. I truly don't know. I know I'm hopeful. I absolutely know that. Yep. But I don't know. Do you think there'll be another debate?
No. Nope. I don't. I don't think. Honestly, I know Kamala Harris wants to do another one. I think she's good. I know Donald Trump probably doesn't want to do another one. No. And if he does, he definitely would want it to be on Fox or something. And I don't think she'd do that. And I don't think she needs to. Yeah.
I think many Republicans are rooting for the Trump BS to end. You can have Trumpism without the chaos of Trump. That's from Doggy Season ticket holder. Yeah, kind of deep down, I think that might be the way a lot of Republicans are feeling. Right. I think even perhaps more so politicians than even people who kind of do the hold their nose and vote for him thing. Right. Like rich people, who are going, oh, Jesus. Right. But okay. Right. Because otherwise I'm going to get hit with this, and I don't want to get hit with this. But my God, I think that's kind of the thought process.
Sure. I would agree.
But I think there's about 30% to 35% of the population that really is big time on board. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it leads to a third party.
It could be the case.
Yeah,
and that could be
that the Republicans break off and there's like a Trump party.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that make things more interesting. But
Leichtman, I believe is his name, Leichtman predicted 9 of the last 10 correctly, with Bush v. Gore being the exception.
That's who I saw.
Kwame Voigt is the fourth. I think that's the guy I'm thinking of too. So I didn't realize he got one wrong. Although I don't really know that he did, but I guess the official results show that he did. Let's see. I think there will be another debate, either due to Trump needing to do another one or just his ego and getting baited into it. NBC has the next one if it happens. That's from Doggy Season ticket holder. Yeah, that's where I was going to go. If he's way behind in polls, then he needs to do it.
Yeah, like a Hail Mary kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, I could see that. And maybe she'd be
I would think in one sense, like, why would she even bother with it? And then in another sense, it's like, you already, you don't really have to do all that much different.
Right.
Right. You know what you got.
Yeah. You can run the same playbook out there. It's probably going to be just as effective.
Yeah, I think I said this on a podcast a month ago or so. I watched him with Bryson DeChambeau playing golf, and I'm just like, it's just there's just like something's not there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
like when he's called evil, I'm like, evil to me is like knowingly doing, and I just don't think that's I
think he's pretty aware, but I think there is a element.
I think so. I don't know. I don't know what it is though. I don't know. I've never seen anything like it.
He's very unique.
But it's something else.
You want to talk about grifting? There's a movie coming out in a month called The Apprentice about young Donald Trump. Sebastian Stan and what's his name? Jeremy Strong, who played Kendall Roy, are in it. That's a grift. But the
film is a grift?
Yeah, 1 month before the election.
Oh, okay.
Trump movie. I mean, it's not going to be like pro or anti-Trump. I think it actually probably will be anti-Trump. But it's it's capitalizing on the time.
Yeah, I would agree with that. All right, Jackson, I said we're going to do a quick one, and what have we done? We've done an hour.
Hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, all right, I'm landing on the plane. That's it, I'm landing on the plane. You can send questions in, comments. T. McKernan at InsideSTL.com, TMCKERNAN at InsideSTL.com. For Jackson, Bennett, Burkett, our sponsors, James Carlton, Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies, Munganess St. Louis Acura, Munganess Burkhardt, Alden Toyota, and the wonderful people at Design Air Heating and Cooling, including the great Seth Goldcamp. I'm Tim McKernan. This has been the Tim McKernan Show.